Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated. And let's get started for my July reads. But before I start, I just want to say thank you so much for the love on last week's video. My mom was a guest, and we talked about our reading journeys, and it was really a pleasant surprise of all the love that I received. And my mother was super happy. She made her YouTube debut, and if anyone knows my mother, just taking pictures is a thing. So that was a big thing for her. So thank you so much for the love for that. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you should see what I have going on post that particular upload to YouTube. Anywho, let's get started. Let's talk about my July reads. You would think that I read a lot this July, and I didn't. I only read 5 books, but if you read one book, one sentence, one page, you are a reader. So therefore, I read 5 books for the month. 3 of those were audio books, and 2 of those were physical books. And so let's get started. But I haven't done a caffeine and books and caffeine in a long time. So today I'm drinking my coffee from Puerto Rico. I'm almost done. Actually, my friend who I went to Puerto Rico with, I think it's 2 years now. She's in Puerto Rico now, and I hope she got my DM. I said, girl, you gotta bring me some coffee, because what is happening right here? Anywho, I'm drinking that in my old trusty Ray Dunn cup. Today is Sunday, so John 3:16. If you know, you know. So let's get started. Let's get us a little sip. I've had some sips before because I had to get my morning started. So it wasn't my first sip, but it was my first sip with you. Great as always. I'm using actually a different creamer today. Khalif, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the almond creamer, plant-based creamer. So yep, here we are. So let's get started. Let me start with the books that I have physical. So one of those books was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, Plus Size Player with Danielle Allen. What can I say? This was a great book. I loved it. I was not disappointed. She did Curvy Girl Summer. I love that. Curvy Girl Summer was my first read by Danielle Allen, and Plus Size Player is a follow-up to that. She has a 3rd installation of this book coming out next year, so I can't wait to read that. This was about a young lady who, you would think Plus Size Player would be about the man being, the player, but it was really about the young lady. And she had kind of a man for each thing. And then like a romantic, a sports dude and all of that, and she was dating around, and there's always one that takes you down. So that was the one that took her down. I totally forgot his name. Don't ask me. I'm not gonna even pretend and then remember that I remembered it. Anywho, but they had a great time, and the ending was great. And so I'm happy for this, because this is definitely representation of my life and the people I know. Anywho, then we had Black Joy, Stories of Resistance, Resilience and Restoration by Tracy McKell Lewis Gizzit. I don't know. She goes by TMLG. And you see, this was the first book that on this channel that I tabbed, because it was just had some gems in it, and it also has a corresponding journal. So I did the journal as well. I think I talked about these 2 books that I was gonna read anyway. This was on my summer reading list. Of course, I finished the book before I finished the journal, because I really did this day by day, and it took me 30 days. So this was a great start to each morning for my meditations. I journal every morning anyway, but this is an added bonus to it. So if you're looking for something to add to your meditation piece, if you do meditate, or you have some journaling process, or you just want to reclaim your Black joy, I think these are great. You can read this, you can do this by itself, or read this by itself, but if you do it together, you kind of see the gems that she's dropping. And then I had 3 audiobooks. So one of the audiobooks was one that I'm gonna look down at my story graph, was Blood Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. So I had started reading Grown, which was one of my summer YAs that I was gonna read, and But I stopped reading Rome for a second and a half, and I read Bloodwater because I was on my way to Martha's Vineyard, and this is based on young people's lives in Martha's Vineyard. The main character stayed there on Martha's Vineyard with a family that her father knew, and then when she gets there, there's a murder that takes place of one of the young people, and so the book goes over the course of trying to save her dad to get out of jail, and also to solve this young person's murder. And come to find out, it was the same person that had her father incarcerated. It was a really good story. Because I go to Martha's Vineyard on a girls trip every year. A good, very dear friend and mentor of mine, family has a home there, so we go every July. And it was just interesting when the author mentioned certain things on the vineyard, like being on Circuit Avenue, getting ice cream, all the teenagers getting ice cream and the Jaws Bridge and all of that. So it was, you know how you know a place, so when you read about it, it brings you kind of like a smile to your face. And so that was that. And then my last two reads were by Ms. Tay Monet, and I believe this is a first read for me by her, and I read both, and then there was you, and then there was you too. And this is about a young lady who is let me read it a little bit. It says, all Seven wanted was to finish law school and make her late grandmother proud. She was never the one to color outside the lines or go against the rule. When Seven is suddenly faced with past due bills and evictions, she becomes overwhelmed on how to stay above water. Now remember, so she had some money issues. And what happened was she lived down the hall from this girl who had a boyfriend. And they brought her into their bedroom. And the rules between the couple was like, you never see that person outside of what we do. So she did her, she did her little bit. She got her little money. But of course, the guy started falling for her. And what the girlfriend didn't realize, he always had a little eye for her. And so when the girlfriend brought her into the bedroom, the boyfriend tried to act like he wasn't happy about it, but he was, and they started to see her outside of the girlfriend, and you can imagine what took place there. And then there was you too, brought up the rear with their friends later on getting together, because at the end of one, I'm not going to tell you what happened to Seven, but then Seven's friend got involved, and also the guy's friend got involved, and I think they started having a little rendezvous. So it was a really interesting romance, of a particular genre, a little urban romance, little sexy, spicy scenes and all the things. So sex, spice, and summer kind of goes together. So I was not mad with bringing up the rear with those two books. So yeah, I read 5 books this month, 2 physical, 3 audio books. It was a time. I'm reading some things now. In the next couple of weeks, you'll find out what I've been reading, what I've been doing. I've been doing a couple of bookish things, and just preparing for kind of the end of the summer, even though it's only, what's today's date? Today is the 10th. It's only the 10th, but for school teachers, that's like being August 31st or September 1st or whatever it is. So we are going to get our lives together and figure this thing out. But yeah, I'm doing all of the things. I'm going to see my mom today, so that should be fun. I've been having a lot of pool time, a lot of downtime, and just chilling and just doing what I want, because I know once the school year starts back up, it'll be a thing. But you didn't come here for that chit chat. 5 books. Do all the things. Like, comment, share. Even drop in the comments, what are you reading? What do you suggest I read? I have a lot of books. I have a lot of popular books and books that people don't talk about. If you're reading something that's super, super cool, drop it in the comments below if you think I should read it, and then I'll read it and do like a little book review on it, and that'll keep us connected. Anywho, enjoy your Sunday. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles, bye. So last week when I had my mother on, she named a couple of films and books, and she said she stands to be corrected. She said she named To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck. She said that was the wrong book title. She said the correct one was Birdman of Alcatraz with Burt Lancaster. Not mommy trying to self-correct and do her own edits. Anywho, thank you so much. Last week's video was incredible. It was like my first guest. It was my mom, and we talked about both of our reading journeys, her particular reading journey, her reading journey with me. We got so much love from that video. Thank you all so much. And it brought me over to 101 subscribers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a small giveaway. So if you're in in the comments today, drop a book emoji, and then also you have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and my Instagram handle, which both are Booked, Uncorked, and Caffeinated, which will be on the screen. And thank you so much for the love, and I'm looking forward to continuing this journey being on YouTube with my books. Have a good one. Deuces. Bye.